We're going to go ahead and proceed with House File 3455. We have Chair Cleavorn at the testifier table up for consideration. So we're going to move this before the body or before the committee and have it re-referred to the general register. We have.
Madam Chair.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Chair Cleavorn and I spoke, and the chairs, both chairs, I believe, of Ways and Means would like this to come before Ways and Means for consideration, and we do have an agreement to do that with Chair Cleavorn.
Thank
I will
you.
officially make the referral to Ways and Means, and I would like my co-chair to agree
And I
to
would
that.
like to thank Chair Nash for his support of the bill and for his continued work in moving it through Ways and Means.
All right, thank you. Then we are going to change that motion to move that to Ways and Means. And I believe there is an A1, is that right?
That is correct. There is an A1 amendment that you will see that directs the Commissioner of Administration to absorb any cost incurred by the Commissioner to modify or replace signage as necessary to conform with Section 1.
All right, thank you. Are there any questions to the A1? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and vote on the A1. All those in favor, please vote aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? And the ayes have it. The A1 is now attached to the bill, and it is in the shape you would like it. Chair Cleavorn, if you'd like to speak to the bill.
Thank you. To House File 3455 as amended, I want to begin with that this is a very personal bill, but more importantly, Melissa Hortman was my friend. But today is not about Melissa Hortman as my friend. Today is about Melissa Hortman as a leader in our state and as someone who personified diplomacy and statesmanship. So the words that I'm going to be using today are not my own. The bill was brought to us by the community, and the bill was brought to us by all of the staff who work in the Capitol complex. So I would just like to begin with, these are not my words, but the words of the people. Melissa Hortman was an institutionalist. Melissa cared deeply about preserving the institution of the House as a legislative body. She cared about following the rules and about respecting legislators for the important work they were elected to do. Melissa fought as a leader to bring back the wins of both caucuses and for the entire body. Speaker Emerita Hortman knew that every legislator was there to represent their district, and they needed to bring home wins for their district. As a policymaker, Speaker Emerita Hortman brought passion to the work. It was her passion to create really good policy. She loved nothing more than passing legislation into law that made Minnesota a better place for the people of Minnesota, especially when that work was done in a bipartisan manner. Speaker Emerita Hortman wanted respect in the workplace. Melissa fought hard to improve the culture of the House for everyone who works here, members, staff, and lobbyists. I said to someone this morning, I didn't cry while eulogizing my mother. I thought I could get through this. Thank you. Forgive me. Okay. She wanted everyone to work in a respectful place. Beautification of the Capitol. Along with the lines of creating a respectful workplace, Melissa felt strongly that the Capitol complex was a treasure for the entire state. And the Capitol complex should be invested in so that the people would feel it to be a welcoming place to be enjoyed. It was a place of democracy. It is the people's house. She loved the Capitol building, but also the entire grounds. She wanted them maintained so that people could come and be at the Capitol's front yard. She wanted the complex to be so inviting that people would travel here as a destination, and it was more than a fourth grade field trip. As my mentor and as the person I looked up to for how good policy is developed, I hope that we will all think about the legacy that Melissa brought to her work. There is in your packet today a petition that was signed by over 2,100 people around the state, Republicans and Democrats and independents, in support of this bill to name the state office building the Melissa Hortman State Office Building. And today we do have a testifier who brought that petition to life. And I would ask that we move to that testifier, please.
Thank you, Chair Claiborne. I think we would all agree that while we may have our differences on policy, I think we can establish that folks across this Capitol who've worked with Speaker Emerita Hortman had great respect and trust in her leadership. And so with that, I want to call up our first testifier, Jody Anderson Walhopter. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. And if you want to go ahead and have a seat, state your name for the record, and then go ahead and proceed with your testimony.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
So my name is Jody Anderson Wilhapter, and good morning, committee members. I am a Brooklyn Park resident and a forever proud constituent of Melissa Hortman. I may look like one person, but I actually represent 2,235 people who have signed on to the change.org petition my husband and I started in July as a grassroots effort to demonstrate public support for renaming the state office building in Melissa Hortman's honor. I know you have copies of the petition, and it is also posted on the House State Gov webpage. And just a note, there has been an increase in the number of signers because people are signing pretty much every day when they find out about it. This petition represents 38 states, Washington, D.C., and 6 other countries, but most of all, it represents Melissa's wide-ranging impact. Indeed, this petition illustrates the power of one person to transform countless lives. And conversely, each name in this petition represents countless private grieving moments and the unseen suffering across our state and beyond since June 14th. I cannot tell you the reasons compelling each person to sign, but I urge you to read each name. For each name is its own kind of bell, intoning a solemn call for remembrance. This is not about politics. This is about common humanity and the dignity of honoring our own. Melissa grew up in Minnesota, came home to Minnesota after college, raised her family here, and served as a stellar citizen and lawmaker for over 20 years. Adding Melissa's name to the office building where the work for the people will continue, work to which Melissa so tirelessly devoted her life, would be a fitting living memorial to the bipartisan spirit she exemplified even in her final vote. Additionally, in a country where fewer than 8% of public memorials are dedicated to women, Minnesota has an opportunity to stand up for an important female role model. Please understand, the people of Minnesota expect a permanent dedication site to Melissa Hortman. Many are surprised to find out there is even a need to petition lawmakers for tributes. Please also understand, doing nothing adds more injury to so many people who loved Melissa, Mark, and Gilbert. And I'm so happy to hear that this is being put forward today out of committee. Thank you. So we thank you for supporting HF 3455. As Shakespeare might have written, "What's in a name?" But our answer is everything. Thank you.
Thank you to the testifier. Are there any other testifiers in the audience wishing to come forward? Seeing none, we'll move to member discussion. Is there any discussion to the bill? Chair Nash.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and Chair Cleaborn. As you know, Melissa was my friend too. We may have agreed on maybe 11 or 12 things, but she was an institutionalist, and we had some fun together. I'm not sure that not everybody was here when we did it, but we did actually an amendment to declare the legislature a unicameral and do away with the Senate. No offense. But I had offered the amendment during a time that everything was a little bit tense, and I pulled it back because I thought, well, maybe we'll just not do this. And Speaker Hortman called me up to the rostrum, and she used some words that I can't use here in committee, but she says, "You will do that amendment." And then she said, "Bring me the copy of the amendment," and she signed on. And for those that do remember, it was the chief clerk introducing it. So Hortman and Nash introduced the following amendment. And she did have a very good knack of knowing when to enter levity into the situation and when to be respectful to the situation. So we will be supporting moving this forward to Ways and Means. So thank you.
Thank you, Chair Nash. Before we head to a voice vote, I just wanted to say, as a point of personal privilege, Melissa meant a great deal to me, too. I often feel her standing over my shoulder, even today. I think we knew her as an honest and fair dealer. And more importantly, no matter what you may have thought of her politics, she kept her word. She lifted people up. But moreover, she loved this institution. She loved the idea of the People's House being a place for people across our state to be able to come and share ideas and viewpoints and maybe even hash it out if we needed to. But she believed at the end of the day we needed to take off our jerseys and work together to do the people's work. And I believe this is a fitting tribute. And with that, we are going to go to a voice vote.
Excuse me, Madam Chair.
I'm sorry,
I
Madam
believe
Chair.
that Representative Kraft would like to say something.
My
as well.
apologies. Representative Kraft.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and sorry to come in late. It's hard to talk about this. Chair Cleaborn, you and I shared a pretty special moment around Speaker Emerita Hortman. You know, I don't know a better way, what profound way to honor her than to attach her name to the place where we do the work. That feels very appropriate to me. So thank you all for that we're going to voice vote this on, and I look forward to this coming to the floor and happening. Thank you.
Thank you. And then, Madam Chair, I just have a few closing remarks.
Chair Cleaborn, to your closing remarks.
Thank you. I want to thank the membership of this committee for agreeing to move this bill on to Ways and Means. More importantly, I'd like to thank each Minnesotan who came to the Capitol to honor Melissa and her memory. I'd like to thank those who have reached out to me in support of this legislation. I'd like to thank Speaker Emerita Hortman for making the class of 2019 an awesome class of legislators, for mentoring us including Leader Damon at that time. She came in the class of 2019. And I think she said it best when she said in an NPR article that we all watched Melissa. We looked to see how she treated other people. We looked to her to see how we work across the aisle to get good work done. And she would say to us, take the personality out of the conversation. Focus on the problem to be solved. She told us to read Who Moved My Cheese? She told us to read Getting to Yes. And I thank her tremendously for making me the legislator that I am. And I want to close with the words of another Minnesotan. Again, these are not my words. I believe Melissa is the beacon for the beliefs here in Minnesota. To care for the people around you, to see the lives of those who are different from you, to cooperate with those who don't agree with you, and to practice simple kindness. With that, members, I thank you for your anticipated yes vote, and I look forward as we work together to move this bill to the General Register and to vote it into law. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Okay. I want to remind people to silence their phones and just say thank you. With no other discussion, we're going to go to a vote to move this bill to Ways and Means with the agreement of the chairs. All those in favor.
As amended, the bill
As amended, to Ways and Means. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. The bill is moved to Ways and Means.